Thank you for double-clicking your mouse tonight. You're listening to the Midnight Frightcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Midnight Frightcast episode number 51. I am one of your hosts, Josh. Sitting across the table from me, as always, is the Doctor of Filmonomics, Greg the Movie Guy.
Not as always. Sometimes I'm on a screen, but I am here today, so don't get angry with me.
As always, sitting to my left is the Scream Queen herself, Maddie.
Hello.
And to my right is the Doctor of Everything Else, Patrick.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
And tonight we have a pretty kick-ass guest sitting in, Nebraska actor extraordinaire, Eric Moyer.
The Doctor of Nebraska Acting. Sorry to cut you off. Go.
Yes. I have a PhD in Nebraskology.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I tried.
We could also call it Nebracting.
Nebraska. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
like
a
that one.
Nebractor.
We should start
I feel like you should see a dermatologist for that.
Yeah. There's a cream.
There's a cream.
Yeah.
Everybody else for the save. So we watched the trailer before we hopped on here. So we're just going to kick right in with the trailer. I try not to pick on the new guy, so I'm going to pick on Patrick. Brightburn, what'd you think?
Okay, well, the first thing you said, even before we started watching the trailer, was this is not a horror movie.
Boom.
Okay, and I don't know, was it because you had seen the trailer before you got here? What did you know about the movie beforehand?
I saw this trailer months ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, this was my first time watching it. So looking at it, okay, maybe it's got some horror elements into it, but it seems like it's more like an anti-hero, superhero type thing, like, Superman goes
It's
bad.
Superman,
Yeah, totally. It's
Okay.
like a Superman origin story trailer
Yeah.
thing.
But it looks like he's evil more than good Clark Kent.
Well, you had to be evil to turn into Clark Kent. I mean, if that was going to be your alter ego and you have those superpowers, you were going to be off the train,
Right.
off the rails in a big way. If that is your alter ego, is Clark Kent. So I see this as a legit origin story for how Superman came to be. I just feel really bad for the waitress.
The one that got her face all cut up.
That's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just trying to serve coffee and
Right.
get home and probably smoke a blunt or whatever it is when she's done at work. She just had that look about her. Not
She
that
looked
that's
like
not that I'm generalizing that
Blunt smoker.
that everyone that waits tables smokes pot. It's just a lot of people I've known that waited tables smoke
Do
pot.
smoke pot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, looking at it,
It started.
yeah. So, no, I was going to say that's often a topic that we have discussions about is what is horror, what isn't. And I think that's probably going to be one of our main topics of discussion in an upcoming podcast. But this did come from a list of horror films of 2019. So
Okay.
why are we getting screwed over on this? I don't know.
And we didn't see everything either. I mean,
No.
they gave you a little flavor, a minute and a half, 2-minute taste of what's going on.
Right.
They could be taking that element out of there as well and not kind of showing you everything. You just don't know. Greg, would you
I would like to agree that it's not a horror, or at least the first half of it wasn't horror, I didn't think. It came off to be more of like a feel-good drama type movie. Like, oh, we haven't had a kid, and then this alien child comes from another planet, and we're blessed with a child. And it's like, oh, okay. It's a feel-good movie. Oh, no, we're okay, this is something different. So definitely a cross and a mix between a lot of genres going on in there.
Yeah.
I wasn't intrigued in it until it started getting dark. More so because I want to see what this kid creature is going to ultimately be or become, or find out that he was all along. So I will probably check it out, but it'd either be like on a $5 Tuesday, or I'll wait and catch it on like Redbox, or if it graces the presence of Netflix.
Cool. Maddie.
Yeah, I'm not going to run out and watch this. It was kind of interesting, but I really got stuck on these people that were like, oh, we plucked a baby out of this like glowing bullshit in the woods and it's not normal. Like, why?
What could be wrong with that?
Why would you think that would ever go wrong? No, that I really like Elizabeth Banks, but I was kind of like, you didn't see that going just like head up. Like, you didn't think that wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like you don't like just pluck babies out of like the fucking woods.
No.
And they're not like these happy, adjusted little little things. So yeah, I got really caught up on that.
The perfect child.
Yeah. Oh, look, it just appeared. And like, if I found a baby in the woods, I'd be going the other way. I never saw it, never looked at anything. I might call the cops in like a couple weeks, but like, no, I'm not picking that up.
And that's just it. It's like, what is up with these people? They're like, oh, baby in the woods. No issue here. Should we call the authorities? Well, why?
Oh, because they prayed for it. They prayed for it, and it just like crash landed in their woods.
Because God answers prayer with meteors.
There you go. The dinosaurs must have prayed hard.
They hated life that much?
Yeah. Maybe some signals got
My brains
crossed.
are so small, God kill us all now.
The one thing that I kind of that we didn't kind of touch on is James Gunn is a producer on this, and I like that he's got that "fuck you" attitude of, "All right, you're going to take me off of Guardians of the Galaxy? I will just go do this then."
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing that shut him down. It didn't ruin him being kind of taken away from Guardians of the Galaxy. It didn't really smash his career.
Right.
He's got Brightburn. He's attached himself to, I think he went on to DC now. He's doing a DC movie now too. But I like that James Gunn kind of came back out saying, I can do a million things, guys. Fuck you. I don't need Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
But as far as the overall movie goes, there's some really awesome visuals in the movie too, where like there's a shot of him, like you can kind of see him floating, but you'd see like the red cape.
Right.
And so yeah, that's what gives you that whole like Superman kind of origin horror story kind of thing. Tons of really cool visuals for Brightburn. So, but yeah, I saw this a couple months ago and automatically was like, that's why I thought it was really interesting that Patrick suggested that tonight, because I was like, this isn't fucking horror at all. What are we doing? But yeah, I'm down for Brightburn. I like James Gunn stuff. I'm not even a comic book fan, but I was a Guardians of the Galaxy fan. So yeah, Brightburn looks cool as shit.
I feel like it's going to fall under that same trap where we've got Elizabeth Banks in there, and I think his name's David Denman, the guy who played Roy from The Office.
Okay.
It looks like they're starring characters, and so they're A-list in a horror movie.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure.
So
cool. So Greg's not going to run out and check it out. Maddie's not going to go around.
just running the other way.
Patrick?
If I go to see it in the theater, it's going to be the Tuesday $5 movie.
Yeah, for sure. Moyer?
Oh, I'd catch that on Netflix for sure.
Cool, yeah. Awesome. So Brightburn, check out that trailer if you haven't. We're going to drop that on the Midnight Frights and the Midnight Frightcast Facebook page. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out there. We're going to move on to news.
To what?
To
what?
To news?
To what?
Oh, fuck.
It's the news.
We have guests, guys. Come on.
We've been trying to.
That's why we're doing it.
Maddie.
He hasn't experienced.
You got news, Maddie?
I do, and this isn't a horror film exactly related, but kind of. Steven Spielberg says he wants to block Netflix films from the Academy Awards, and I think that's kind of shitty.
I remember reading an article about this a while back, and I think I actually wrote a response on my blog regarding it. Like, I get it. I think all Netflix would need to do is just have a theatrical release of that, and I think it would be fine. But
why? Why do they have
Yeah.
to do that?
I don't know why, but I don't know.
Well, here's my thing. I'm like, first of all, Mr. Spielberg, the future is now. This is what's going on. To be honest, besides like this group of people who are really into film, most of my friends don't go to the theater anymore because you have to like remortgage your house in order to like go have a date night at the movies anymore. But like, what kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth about this is like, I'm sure when he started directing and was first starting out, he was doing like newer stuff and people were like hitting back against him. And so I'm kind of like, why don't you just like accept that this is something new that's happening and just deal with it?
And why do you get to spend hundreds of millions of extra dollars on what was probably an indie film? Like Roma was probably an indie film. It was probably fairly low budget. And then they got to spend an extra, 20, 30, 40, $50 million to advertise it on TV and get it in the theater and make all the extra prints to pass along.
True.
You got to spend, that's all extra money when you can just drop it and plant it on Netflix for everybody to see and save that money.
But see, it might be the fact that not everybody has a Netflix subscription, while the general majority people do have it, but not everybody will have it. Whereas if it's released in theaters, they might actually, like, they get a chance to go out and publicly see it. They have the opportunity. They don't have to get a Netflix subscription. I cannot talk today. I apologize.
I have that effect on people. Sorry.
It's all you.
Yeah. No, I mean, to me, it's just complete and total BS. I mean, if you don't like it, I mean, I think it's just a matter of like, there is really spectacularly good content being put out by studios like Amazon
Absolutely.
and Netflix. And I'm saying they're studios.
It's a
They
studio.
are.
You bet.
Yeah.
They are producing legit content. It's competitive. And I think a lot of the old guard doesn't like it.
Sure.
They just can't
Yeah.
handle it. And, tough. you
Yeah.
know, so.
I can see that. That makes more sense. Yeah, I get that.
Is that it, Manny?
Yep, that's my news.
Cool. That was a good discussion. Greg, what do you got?
So, over on Bloody Disgusting, Stranger Things and It breakout Finn Wolfhard is in talks for Ghostbusters.
Motherfucker took my news. But cool. Keep
My
going,
bad.
Greg. No, you're good, Greg. Go.
Yeah, and pardon me as I scratch it off my list as well.
Oh, well, suck it, both of
No,
them.
keep going, though.
That's all I had. I thought that's really kind of cool that this kid's getting some decent looks at a lot of cool stuff. I'm intrigued. They've been talking about this Ghostbusters prequel, sequel, reboot, whatever. Well, not the reboot.
It's just the third.
It is like a legit sequel to that. So
Yep.
Yeah.
have they confirmed that Dan Aykroyd and
Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and
I can't think of his name. Shit, Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson are all coming back.
Yeah, awesome.
So,
Awesome.
and hopefully Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver will come back as well.
There's a theory in this article where they're talking that Finn will be the son to Egon Spengler.
Yeah, I think
which I think would be kind of cool. They actually have a
awesome.
side by side of the two of them, and you can definitely see
Yeah,
a resemblance.
yeah. I think
nice.
So
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of cool to see him. He's a character I'm going to be, or a actor I'm going to be keeping my eye on because he's getting some really good looks.
for sure. Yeah,
So
it's going to be cool to see him do that. So
Yeah, and they don't have details on the plot, but they did say that his character is being considered for the son of a single mother, so that does kind of make sense that it could be
right.
Now,
the son of Egon.
if I'm not mistaken, is this or is this not like the third attempt at a third Ghostbusters movie that is wasn't there a script years ago, but it was deemed too dark to
Ghostbusters
produce?
Go to Hell was the script they wrote for a third.
That was the working title.
That was the working
Ghostbusters
title.
Go
yeah.
to Hell.
Yeah, which would have been the shit, I think, because
Yeah.
I read the plot line on that.
Not be
And
fun and
Yeah.
awful at the same time, but yeah.
I mean, that was when I can't think of his name. The guy who played Egon was still alive. It
Good
was when-
Lord.
Yeah, when that script was being tossed
He'll
around.
always be Egon.
Yeah, he was
For now.
still alive. So it's been a while since they tossed that one around. Nobody can think of his name. So
No.
Harold Ramis.
Thank
Harold
you.
Ramis, thank you, Moyer for the save.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they're completely ignoring the
travesty that just happened to fall into theaters.
female.
As they should.
How bad was that?
I
I
didn't
didn't
see
see it.
I'm not even pulling
Anyone?
the trigger on it. No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I think Maddie watched maybe 25 minutes of it.
Ooh, death glare. Patrick's gonna die.
I don't think I get 5 minutes on that one.
Patrick, news.
Hey, I've got some news. It has been announced that Seth Rogen has been cast in Jordan Peele's reboot of The Twilight Zone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so while they have not said what actual character he's going to be playing, but he is reportedly set to appear in an episode written by Key and Peele and community writer Alex Rubens.
Cool. Did you guys see the Adam Scott? Which one he's doing?
Yeah, he's doing
okay.
The airplane one.
that
Yeah.
one with the guy
20,000
whose name
feet.
I can't think of.
Yeah,
Help me, William Shatner.
William Shatner.
yeah. John
His
Lithgow
original.
did it also too.
Did he?
So yeah,
Nice.
but Adam Scott, that'll be a cool choice.
It's a good, good
So-
casting.
Have they said when that's going to start airing? Is that
I don't know, but I saw it's only NBC.
And that was CBS.
or CBS,
CBS.
exclusive,
Yeah.
or you have to have the CBS app or whatever.
It's
to
isn't it called
to watch it.
CBS All Access?
Or All Access.
Yes.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't think you're gonna be able to watch it.
Well, and that's what they're doing that with The Stand. It's going to be on CBS All
I mean,
Access.
it's all just money. It's
So
just
is that a
ridiculous.
remake of The Stand, or is it the...
It's going to be a 10-part series.
So it's a redo
It's-
of the previous one.
Right.
Okay.
Actually, I hope it's going to be a lot. I hope it's a reboot as opposed to a
All respect.
remake.
Yeah, all respect to all the people that were in it, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that was harsh.
It was another time.
It was. And yeah, I mean, technology can make The Stand really awesome.
Finn Wolfhard was my news, but I did write down one thing. Does anybody want to talk quickly about this fucking Momo challenge?
I was just going to... That was going to be my news.
Anybody? Does everybody know about it?
I would like to
Yes.
talk about it because I don't know much about it. Except
I don't want to give it any power, so I will say that since it's a hoax, it's
100%.
bullshit.
100%. Okay. Here's my thing, and I don't know if you may have gotten an email to Moyer, but so emails went out across everywhere from principals discussing to talk about your children at home, to talk with your children at home about this Momo challenge. And because it's all over schools,
Right.
like my daughter came home crying on Wednesday because there was kids in her class talking about this and telling kids like, oh, if you don't do this, Momo is going to come to your house and kill you. And she came home fucking crying. She went to the principal with another friend and talked to the principal about, hey, they're talking about this in class. Mm-hmm. This is one I come to school for.
Right.
Massive emails were sent out everywhere just saying, hey, talk to your kids about this. It's basically bullshit. Don't buy into it and move on. So I don't know if you kind of got the same.
The thing that shocks me is the number of people that have said they've seen it, but it's fake.
Not even a thing.
It's it's not a thing. You couldn't have seen it because it wasn't real. And it's like, well, okay, that fascinates me.
Right.
The statue is, I think Joey Long might have posed for the statue.
I
because
was
it
thinking
looks just like her.
It was made by a female Asian artist.
I thought it was Shelley Duvall, but
Shelley
that
Duvall,
would be
you're right.
There you go. Okay.
I fucked that up too. I'm on a roll tonight.
well, like from The Shining when she's like huddled in the room,
Yep.
she's screaming and crying as he's hacking down the door.
If you-
It's totally her.
Attach some feet to her chin. It is Momo.
Yeah, she just stood still for a moment and stopped spazzing out while he's chopping in the wall. It's like, just take a breath, pose. There it is.
There it is.
That's her.
But that
40 years later.
I just read also that artist has destroyed the Momo statue.
Really?
Just based on all this shit going around about it, they have destroyed it, and it's off their table. So
I have a question since I'm not a parent. Do you talk to your kids about the Momo challenge before or after the Tide Pod challenge?
Oh my
Is that
God.
just like a
look, I would tell my kid, do the Tide Pod challenge, do the Kiki
Cinnamon.
challenge, do the cinnamon challenge, do every challenge. Just maybe skip the Momo one. We don't need to do that one. But it's just that whole Momo thing is just it's been a week long
ridiculous.
of just dealing with it. And
Wouldn't it be funny if this was like some sort of like movie promo?
the Momo promo?
Yeah.
as dark as it is, that would be a real fucked up movie.
Well, 'cause-
Right?
I would see that movie.
Oh yeah, I would totally.
Because do you
wanna
guys
see that.
remember in like 2016 that we've all forgotten about, that there were just fucking people dressing up like clowns like running around? Like we had to deal with that at the police department, and then all of a sudden nothing happened.
Well,
and we
and
were
the-
like, what?
Yeah,
Well,
look
didn't
at
a guy get shot?
I
wasn't
wouldn't
there
be
one of the clowns?
surprised.
One of the clowns got shot, and then that kind of put an end to it because it's like, well, it's not as fun if somebody's going to shoot you to dress up like a clown and chase someone with an axe,
Right?
But even Slender Man, which was
Yeah.
a creepypasta made up bullshit thing, and then two girls take another girl out into the woods and shoot her like 7 times, or stab her 7 times, something like that. So some people are screwed up in that way. So yeah, let's start something and make a movie 7 years later.
Are you saying we should start something now?
Well, we got some writers in the room.
Who have time. Yeah. But all right, kiddies, stay away from Momo, and she'll stay away from you. Greg, what have you been watching?
Are we done with news? Has everybody
I
said
think
all
we're
the
done
news?
with
Everybody. Oh, sorry, Moyer. Did you have
We
news?
tag team Momo, so I'm good.
Okay, cool. All right, cool.
So we're done with news?
Yeah. Fuck. Go.
That's the news.
News.
Every time.
I've actually always wanted to hear like the people on NPR do like lead-ins and intros and outros the way they do on like the rock stations where they're like, NPR, you're listening to All Things Consider. I would love that.
We don't have the budget for an echo, so you are the
Yeah,
echo.
we have to do the echo.
Just once.
I could figure it out. I have it on the board here somehow to do it.
There's effects on the board.
There are effects on the board, but I've never
Why
been able
have
to-
you
Just
never
punch
told
buttons.
me this?
See what happens.
just start pushing buttons?
Just
Yes.
I think it has to be on a specific channel, though.
Oh. Let's learn that for next time.
Okay.
We should have done that for our
Yeah.
50th episode.
I see no reason not to do it on the fly
Can we
personally,
just
but
do our 50th episode?
Thank you for joining our tech rehearsal, everybody.
You caught us in the middle of a production meeting.
Greg, what have you
Hi.
been watching?
I actually went out to the theaters on Friday. There was a movie that came out a while back that I was back and forth on wanting to see, and I finally pulled the trigger on. It was the movie called The Upside. And I was back and forth on it because it stars Kevin Hart, Bryan Cranston. I was a little wary about Kevin Hart in a serious role because he's obviously more comedic. He does that thing. And I was absolutely blown away by this movie. Absolutely loved it. Kevin Hart has got some acting chops, and Bryan Cranston is amazing regardless. So definitely, if you get a chance to check out The Upside, check out The Upside.
Was it a serious role? Because previews make it look like a comedy.
Made it look like
there are comedic bits to it, but it's like a lighthearted drama, you could call it.
Okay, cool.
Dramedy.
Okay.
A dramedy, if you will. Yes.
Cool.
So it was really good, though. Definitely check it out.
Awesome. Patrick, what do you got?
I caught up on Hulu's Handmaid's Tale season 3.
Okay,
because
cool.
I watched like the first couple of episodes when it first came out, and then I said, I might as well finish it. So I finished season 3 of Handmaid's Tale. That's just got phenomenal acting in it, and it's kind of spooky because you can almost see this dystopian society being created somewhere, even in the United States, just because with all the crazy craze going on and everything else. And then the other thing is I finished Umbrella Academy on Netflix. I still highly recommend it to people. Yeah.
I too am watching Umbrella Academy right now. I'm not all the way through it, but that's
Have you been
my one.
exposed to the comic books at all?
Not at all.
Okay, all right.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
Yes, because it was based on a comic book created by Gerard Way, frontman of My Chemical Romance. And then I can't remember who did the illustrations for it because he wrote the books. But yeah, based on a graphic novel.
Rocking.
Yep.
Cool. Maddie, what do you got?
Let's see. I watched 25 minutes of our feature movie, and then I watched the entire Silence of the Lambs. Rewatched that,
Nice.
and then I also not rewatched. I watched for the first time Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh.
So
cool.
That was fun. It was really good.
Is that okay? I'm sorry. I don't want to expose it too early, Greg, but is that on our bracket?
It is.
Yeah, that was the
It
only
is.
one in my brackets that I hadn't seen yet, so I wanted to watch that
Actually
one.
watch
cool.
it before we start talking about them.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
And I'm really glad I did anyway. It's really good.
Cool. Moyer.
In addition to the Umbrella Academy, the thing that really struck me, and this is like a crazy series, I highly recommend everybody check it out. Russian Doll.
Oh yeah.
I've seen
cool.
the first couple episodes of that.
I'm halfway through that.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody at this table, so I'll just say it's like it veers in many ways, in my opinion, to horror, and it's a very righteous ride. It
Yeah.
is
Cool.
so awesome.
Yeah, I talked
Very
about
rewarding.
a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah,
was it
yeah.
maybe? And
I
I described it as a very dark Groundhog Day.
Yes, yeah. But the humor in it is so cutting, and yeah, there's a lot of really great things in that, and it's a fun show. I'm sure it's not for everybody, but children may not be.
Yeah, it's not a family show.
No.
Yeah.
No, woman dies repeatedly, uses drugs, has lots of sex. No, I don't know
Cool.
if that's okay for kids, but
It was a good casting for Natasha Lyonne.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
yeah,
yes.
she's amazing in it.
But she's producing it.
Yeah.
It's like her thing. It's her bag. So, I mean, it's totally like, yeah. I mean, definitely, I love that when somebody is so passionate about a project, they attach themselves to it.
Yeah.
And through a force of will get it done. That is amazing. And the cast is remarkably good.
Yeah.
Everybody across the
And
board.
Amy Poehler's tied to that somehow or another
She's
as well.
producing,
as
isn't
she?
she?
A
Yeah.
producer?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Cool.
fun.
Yeah, just real quick. I'll knock through a couple of things. Almost done wrapping up Santa Clarita Diet with my wife. We started rewatching that. We completely started it all the way over. Binge watched the crap out of it. Still not a fan of Timothy Oliphant. I don't know why. I just don't like him. His face bothers me. But the actual show is really good, and season 3 is going to start here soon. So we're almost caught up for that. I started watching. I found on Shudder Eli Ross History of Horror. Has anybody caught it yet?
Yeah.
I've
no, not yet.
been past it, and I want to check it out, but I
It's
haven't pulled the
super
trigger on
good.
it yet.
I think it's 10, 11, 12 episodes. Every episode kind of dives into a different kind of genre of horror. Definitely check it out. It's super good. They're like 45, 50-minute episodes, so they go pretty quick. Tons of different celebrities kind of join in and chat about all the different kind of movies that they cover. So I definitely would check out that show. It was super good. And then for the first time last night, I sat down. We had a crazy Saturday night coloring with my daughter. So I threw on a movie, and we watched Gremlins for the first time.
Yes.
I showed her Gremlins
I saw that
for the
picture
first
that you
time.
posted.
And her face when the Gremlin came on, I was like, I got to capture that. She was terrified. It was fantastic. But she stuck through, and we finished watching Gremlins. And then I did watch our feature film tonight with my daughter last night. So she was
Traumatized?
She
Okay.
gutted right through it. She was like, that was kind of fucked up, but she did really well.
And those were
In
her
those
exact words.
Maybe. She did really well. So yeah, that is what I've been kind of checking out lately. So yeah, we can move on. We got a topic tonight. Who chose this topic? Was this your topic?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Don't sound bummed about it. Let's talk about it, Patrick. What was the topic?
Originally the topic was horror movies made into TV series, but that was a little obscure because I think there's, we could
I can't
find
think
them,
of
but
any.
yeah, I mean, we could try. Well, The Exorcist.
The Exorcist was one, yeah.
That was a TV series?
Psycho was made into
Bates
Motel.
Mhm.
Dark Shadows
So
was the opposite. TV shows in a movie,
Right.
Or whatever.
But I mean, there's been a handful of horror movies that have then been Friday the 13th? No, Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, Friday the
They
13th
did
was.
a TV show,
Was it?
yeah.
And then, but I know Nightmare on Elm Street because there was a 1990s
Yes, that was made into a TV show,
series,
yep.
something like that.
Scream was.
Yep. So there was
Sorry.
a group of movies that were made into TV series, but then we're like, I don't think any of us had ever seen those series.
What
so
We
then
Do in the Shadows.
I'm
was
not
another
sure
one.
Yeah.
anyone did.
Yeah. So we caught Exorcist.
He watched Scream. I know, Greg
Yeah.
watched Scream. Exorcist was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
The series?
Yeah, it's
Very
on TV.
good.
Really?
It's on
Yeah.
Hulu. It's super
Yeah, it's
good.
really, really good.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we changed it then to just TV horror, the good, the bad, the ugly. And there's been so much TV horror over the years that I don't know that we could cover good, bad, and ugly. So I think we're just condensing it to TV horror. What do you like?
Yeah, what do you dig? I'm going to say it out loud, even though we've already fucking done this. Let's round robin the shit out of this, guys. Okay, we're round robining, right? That's the rule, right?
So what, does that mean we go around the table or do...
We read
All right,
lists.
all right.
We each read all our entire lists.
We're going to
Or,
round
or
robin.
do we go one at a time and go...
Yeah. So we discussed this, even though we said we weren't going to discuss this again. We're going to do round robin.
Eric, just so you know, that every time we do this, and we say, by default, it's going to be round robin.
Okay.
But then we get to this point and we always second guess ourselves.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So-
We don't
Okay.
we
We're
don't
poorly
know why.
organized.
Yeah.
And
we just don't know why.
And staying with the theme, we're going to round robin tonight, and we'll start with Patrick because he picked the topic.
Since I picked it. Well, one that started off extremely strong, it's been going for several seasons now, and probably needs to be on this list regardless of what you think of it, is The Walking Dead. Like I said, it started out really strong, and right now it's suffering. It's suffering. It's had its good seasons. It's had its bad seasons. It's had some people come and go, and I think it's really on the downswing right now. I know that they think that they can get another 10 years out of it. I don't see that happening. They've already got 3 movies lined up with it. Once again, with your key actors out of the show, the ones who really put it on the map. I just don't see that happening.
Well, no, they got Fear the Walking Dead also, and now they're supposed to have another
third
spinoff.
A
as
second,
well.
yeah, the second
Yeah, another
spinoff.
spinoff. So, how much more can they? Like, they're really, really nailing this thing into the ground.
Yeah.
hard. I mean, there's 5 seasons ago. This shit should have stopped. Really.
I think they could have ended last season.
I thought they could have ended after the 4th episode of the first season. Like, he finds his family, his quest is complete.
We're done.
We're done now.
Yeah.
They're gonna be farmers and live in the hills and rebuild society, and we can just accept that that's what's going to happen.
I would have accepted that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. That
Right?
first season, the 6 episodes were legit, like great stuff and easy to get through. I mean, it was that first season was the best.
Well, I also felt that's when the graphic novels were the strongest as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the graphic novels themselves right now, they're getting pretty weak
Are they?
as time goes on.
Well, now he's too busy producing a fucking TV show.
Well, that, and he also has other comic books that he does as
Gotcha.
well.
So, Greg.
American Horror Story is probably the biggest one that comes to mind for me. I like it and hate it all at the same time. I feel like they're kind of in a roller coaster of trying to figure out what to do with their next season, excuse me. Really, and we talked about this a little bit beforehand, there really hasn't been a great season of American Horror Story since probably the first 2. Their first one and then Asylum.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to discuss that at all.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Like, again, American
Getting
Horror
awkward
Story.
stares.
No.
Yeah, no,
American Horror Story. Go ahead, Patrick.
No, I was going to say Murder House was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Which was first season. I did like Asylum, except for a couple of episodes within there where it got
A little rough.
Yeah, a little too weird
Yep.
for it. I absolutely did not like Coven at all. What was the
Freak Show.
Freak Show had potential,
Freak Show started strong.
and then they showed the backstory of the clown,
Of the
and
clown,
it killed
lost
it.
it.
Absolutely killed the entire series.
And
season.
then is it Roanoke? Is that the
That was the next one.
Yeah.
I liked that one just because of the way they did one half of the season one way and the second half of the season.
No, Hotel was after that. I'm sorry. It was Hotel, then Roanoke.
Yeah, and I'd like
Yeah.
to forget that one as well.
Oh my. Okay. Keep going. Yeah.
But Roanoke, it just intrigued me how they did that. And then what was this last season with
Cult.
the Cult,
Cult.
which once again,
It had
half the
potential.
season was really good, and
Yeah.
then it slowed down the second half.
Yeah, I love the Murder House and Asylum, just like Patrick as well. Coven had like the coolest fucking concept and such a great cast. And I don't know how you fuck up witches, but they figured it out because it was really, really bad.
Yeah.
That cast was so good. Kathy Bates was in there. Who else am I missing? Oh, there's the three witches, the three main
And was it-
ladies in there were like so good.
It was an Angela Bassett, was
And-
it?
Yeah, Angela Bassett was in there.
And then
They handled it a lot better with this last season, Apocalypse.
Oh,
by
yeah.
having that crossover with Coven.
Yeah, wasn't it Coven and Murder House? Weren't they supposed to?
A little bit. I mean, because they touched Murder House in Apocalypse
Okay.
a bit, but it was more the witches from Coven
Gotcha.
than anything else with the rest of the
Yeah,
series.
and Freak Show I skipped. I saw the first episode or first few episodes and saw that clown. I was like, this is stupid. I can't even deal with this shit. I loved Hotel. You can crap on Lady Gaga all day long.
Oh no,
I
no,
thought
no!
she was
great.
fucking
It was things like
fantastic in that shit.
Eric Peters. Is that his name?
Evan
Peters had no business playing H.H. Holmes.
That
in
is 100% true. But Hotel I thought was really great. And then I haven't caught Roanoke or Colt. They're on Netflix. I think you can watch them all on Netflix now. I've really lost interest since Hotel. Really,
I think the biggest thing that I appreciate about American Horror Story is it pretty much put Sarah Paulson on the map.
True.
that is 100% true. Also, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Maddie,
I only have 2 on my list. I know that sounds weird coming from someone who can barely sit through a 90-minute movie that I don't have the attention span to watch anything on TV. I've actually, in my entire life, I have only watched one TV show beginning to end, and it wasn't a horror one. So I have 2 on here that I've watched most of the episodes, and the first one was Kingdom Hospital, which I know is a miniseries and not a TV show, but that's my attention span for you. And I liked that one. I had no idea what was going on, and I don't think it ever came together, but it was interesting.
cool. Is that streaming anywhere, Maddie, or did you watch that?
I watched
Was it an original?
the original, like when it came on. It was a Stephen King one.
Cool. Okay.
I like Stephen King a lot, but there are some times where I'm like, you are on a lot more drugs this time than you are in the other time. This was a heavy drug one, and there was a giant anteater ghost and a vampire, and I don't even fucking know what was going on.
And I don't think his stuff always translates well into TV either,
No.
because he had Under the Dome as a series that just didn't quite fit.
What was the
Yeah.
last King thing that just came out? That was. Does that
Oh,
count?
Castle Rock.
Castle Rock counts as
Castle
TV.
Rock.
Right?
Castle
That's
Rock is
TV,
on my
right?
list, yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I fucked that up.
No, that's all
Moyer, what do you got? Anything?
I got to go back to the 80s because that's when I
Cool.
watched most of my TV.
Fantastic.
But I'm going to go with, I don't even know if this qualifies as a TV show, but it was on HBO.
Talk about it anyway.
I'm thinking, okay, nailed
Let's
it.
go.
All right. Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, that was, I thought that was a very righteous series. I looked forward to the next episode every freaking week.
Cool.
And it's sort of like, it ebbed and flowed. Like, it started out, the first season, it was just amazing because they had like writers like Walter Hill and people that were just like rock stars.
Cool,
just
yeah.
churning out episodes and stuff. And then like seasons 4 and 5, it kind of tapers off and gets kind of iffy. And then the later ones, they sort of picked back up again and got good. You just had to ignore the Crypt Keeper at the beginning and the end because like that was just odd.
Yeah.
It was like they wanted Jim Henson to have involvment, and they're like, what if we have a puppet? Do we have a puppet?
A really
Yeah.
creepy
A
Muppet.
creepy puppet?
there you go.
So I kind of want to spin off of that. Did you see any of the movies?
No,
I love the movies.
I did
I'm a
not.
fan.
did not see the movies.
No.
Demon
Okay.
Night and Bordello of Blood.
Oh, wait, yes,
live in
I've
my
seen
heart.
both of those,
So,
yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't realize I didn't make the connection, but holy shit, yeah,
Yeah.
because they had the Crypt Keeper in them.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Oh my god.
So did they? I mean, were they pretty connected as far as like, did they do them the exact same way? It was just one was movie length and one was TV length, or
I thought the movies were like the bad episodes of the series.
oh, lovely. Okay,
To be honest, I mean, just to lay it down, like
Sure.
I thought their better stuff stuff was sort of the mind-bending kind of like harder to deal with stuff.
Right.
Like I felt like those movies were just kind of like gore and like, oh look, and now we're gonna stretch like this NFL great's face, and won't that be weird? And
okay,
he'll turn into a vampire, sort of. I just thought some of that stuff was so cheesy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, well, I had two, just kind of like Maddie. But I mean, I can think of a few more, but I think my favorite TV that I've watched recently is The Exorcist on Hulu. I banged through both those seasons, and then it got fucking canceled, which is, I think, like the worst thing that could have happened was that show got canceled because season 2 ends and it's got so much more to tell.
Yeah.
They kind of ended it on a note where, like, okay, that can be the ending, but the two priests that lead that show had journeys to go on, and they would have been kick-ass either way they went. The reveal in season 1 is so good.
Were you kind of expecting it though? Because I don't want to give it away because I recommend this series to everybody.
I didn't see it coming at all. When
Okay.
they said it, I was like, "Oh, this makes so much sense."
Yeah.
And now I love it even more.
Okay.
I'm so happy. I can't wait to watch the rest of it. It was just really, really good. And the two priests, the actors they got for those are fantastic, and it ties nicely together with the movie. Yeah, I would definitely check out The Exorcist on Hulu. They're easy watches. And I think was it John I can't think of his name.
Leguizamo?
No,
John Woo?
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Williams.
John Holmes.
The Asian guy he was in American Pie.
Chow.
John Chow. Okay, is that
Cho. Sorry, John Cho.
Okay, he leads season 2, and he's really great in that as well. They just really knocked out casting, and the stories are great, and I can't recommend it any more than that. So it's really, really good. So yeah, Patrick.
I actually have quite a bit of a list. So
Do tell.
Ash versus Evil Dead
Okay, cool.
was first season, really, really strong. Second season, I understood why they canceled it after that. I mean, he did say he didn't want to do it anymore. Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. Oh, really? He's done.
Yeah, he said he's done. He's done with the character. He's done. But first season was really, really strong. A lot of fun. They really took the humor from the Evil Dead movies and just put into a TV series. Really good.
Cool. I mean, if you have a lot, do you have a lot, Greg?
I have a few.
Maddie's got one more. You got some more?
I can make something up.
Either that or is, we list ours off, just riff
Yeah,
on it.
maybe just bang through them real quick,
Yeah.
Patrick. And
Well, I can bang through it real quick. Dead Set. You guys probably have not heard of this. It's a 4-part series. I think it's on Hulu right now. It's basically Big Brother meets the zombie apocalypse.
Fun.
Ooh.
Yeah, so while these people are contained in this house, shit happens outside. It's a British show. It's really, really good. So if you haven't seen that, jump on that.
Hulu,
It's either Hulu or it's one of the streaming.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
Cool.
Netflix or Hulu. Castle Rock. You guys know I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I think they really knocked it out of the park with this series. I'm really looking forward to the next season. They do a really good job of tying in the Stephen King multi-universe from different books into this whole thing. Anybody else seen Castle Rock, Benny?
Oh, just the first couple episodes.
I swear I'm going to watch
I was
it.
going to say, I think you would. You'd like it. It's
I love Stephen
Yeah.
King, so I'm sure I will like it. But
right. I mean, you have to extend your watching time by about 10 minutes, but
I know.
other than that, you're okay. This is one I know you dig, Josh.
Yeah.
Santa Clara Diet.
Santa Clarita.
Clarita.
Yep,
No.
I did. I am digging that. Yep.
Santa what?
Santa Clarita.
Clarita? Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
I screwed up.
Yeah.
Santa Clarita Diet. And yeah, that's the third season's coming out here.
Yep.
Pretty
Pretty
soon.
quick.
Roasting. Yep.
Once again, but it's comedy horror. You and
Yeah,
I
they
dig
did some
that.
cool stuff, some fun stuff with it.
It's a fun little show though. Like I really like how all the characters interact, and especially since she's turning into a zombie and trying to fight that and finding it wasn't Norwegian, it was whatever the nationality was.
Couldn't even tell you.
Cool. I'm an idiot.
All right.
Can continue, please.
Dutch.
Was it Dutch?
No.
We'll go with that.
Drew
Okay, we'll go with
Barrymore's
Dutch. Dutch
reading
sounds
that,
good.
If they could just find a way to cover Timothy Oliphant's face, I think I would enjoy it a little more.
Sam, that's where you and I disagree on that
I just
show.
don't like that.
I think he's
Because-
dreamy.
Yeah.
I do that too, though. There are some people that I'm just like, God, I can't with your face. Like the main chicken, Shape of Water. Like I had no interest in that movie anyway, but I was like, I can't look at your fucking face for 2 hours.
Sally
Who
Hawkins.
is that person? Sally Hawkins?
I don't know.
I need to
And-
Google that now.
Yeah. And speaking of people that I can't stand, but I love the show anyway, Stranger Things.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder. She just drives me
Stranger
batshit
Things
crazy.
is so good. I can't
But
wait.
Stranger Things are now,
July
this is the
4th.
thing.
July 4th is coming out.
Do you think this is going to be the last season because the kids are just too old at that point, and people are going to say, "Oh, they're not cute enough to make this interesting"?
I hope it's the last season, not because I don't enjoy it, but because they need to end
On a strong note.
good note. And
Instead
yeah,
of trying
a lot
to
of these
stretch it to make
kids-
money.
A lot of these kids are branching out. They're getting cast in movies
Yeah.
because Eleven's in the new Godzilla movie.
Oh, yeah.
Finn Wolfhard's killing it. Those kids are going to go on and they're going to do bigger, really cool things.
Yeah.
And the show's so good. Why don't Walking Dead it? Just let it kind of walk off.
I agree.
On a really awesome note, and it'll be cool.
I feel like that's kind of the nice thing about it being a Netflix series is Netflix seems a little bit more conscious of, okay, this is starting to slow down. We need to pull the plug. Otherwise, this is going to get ugly.
Yeah.
Whereas you've got seasons like The Walking Dead and things like that where it's just like, we can milk another couple million out of this one more season. Let's do it.
And they've told their story. Like that story, like at the end of season 2, like that story kind of, it wrapped up real nice. They've told it. There's not really a whole lot left to give or tell. Just, packages season 3 up real nicely and put a nice little bow on it and let those kids,
Go about their business.
Just go on.
Yeah.
I love 80s, that 80s nostalgia fact of it, but time to let it go.
Yeah, I agree.
If Rod Serling and Alfred Hitchcock had a British love child together, that would be Black Mirror,
Oh, yeah.
because it is a cross between Twilight Zone and Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Cool. I haven't watched one episode of that.
It's
I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Check out the first episode. That'll make you so uncomfortable.
Cool.
I did see Bandersnatch. Did you watch
I
Bandersnatch?
did not watch Bandersnatch.
Check that out because
Is that the interactive one?
Yep. Oh, that's a wild ride.
Okay.
I did watch a couple of those. I thought they were kind of hit or miss. Like there was a couple.
They are
ones
hit or
that
miss,
I was
but
like, eh.
yeah, but much like Twilight Zone and Alfred Hitchcock, those were hit or miss as well.
Sure.
And then the last one on my list shows my age because it comes from 1973, 74, right around there, and that was Kolchak, The Night Stalker.
Moyer.
Anybody ever? I'm going to say Moyer's probably the closest to my age in the room.
I don't know that one. No.
Okay, it was like one of the first supernatural primetime shows. I wish I could remember the name of the main actor, but basically he was a private investigator or a reporter that looked into supernatural activity in Chicago.
Fun.
And it was dark.
Who was the actor?
That's why I was just saying I couldn't remember the name of the actor.
Okay, all right.
And I will look it up as somebody else talks about their next show.
Yeah, everything with Jack Klugman is magic in that period. Just saying.
Right. It
Yeah,
wasn't
so-
Jack Klugman.
Too bad.
Yeah.
Then it would have been.
It was the father in Christmas Story. I can tell you that.
Oh, that
Darren
guy
McGavin.
Is,
Darren
yes!
McGavin. There we go.
Yes. You know what? I am familiar with the show. I can't think of a single episode, but
Yeah.
I am familiar with the show. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Greg.
All right. So I'm gonna show my age a little bit. I'm gonna go back to a little Nickelodeon TV show called Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Didn't see one episode.
No?
Not one.
No.
I watched a lot of Pinwheel.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't
That's
really
my
tell
answer
you
to
one
that
episode.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't describe it as an episode and tell you what it's about.
It was
But,
kiddie horror basically.
show's good, though.
It was
Yeah,
it was
great,
it was
yeah.
a fun show. I got scared in a couple of them, but I was also like 10, 11, 12 and kind of a pansy. So
You're so old.
I
All right.
know.
Right.
You got any more, Greg? Just bang through them. Dude.
yeah. So one that just came out on Netflix here was The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh, yep. Gotcha.
Actually,
Pretty rad. Yeah.
it's really shot very well, and I actually stopped watching because it got a little dark for me.
Really?
So yeah, I never finished the first season. I know they came out with like a little, was it like a Christmas special or something?
No, it was a Valentine's special.
and there's
one.
a second season coming.
No, wait, was it a
It was a
Christmas special?
Christmas
I think
It
it
was
was
a
Christmas.
Christmas special.
Yeah.
You're right.
So I haven't seen that one at all, but I like how they led up to it. I like the darkness of it, and I like how it was shot. But yeah, just story got a little bit dark for me. So
It's great casting. I love that. And that
Absolutely.
actress, I mean, seeing her development through Mad Men, there's
Oh,
always
yeah.
that dark kind of like brooding element of her. I mean, I just like, man, that's genius casting. That's
Absolutely.
got to be good.
absolutely. And the other one that I want to talk about here quick was actually a bust for me. Was a movie that came out called The River. Or not a movie, excuse me, TV series that came out called The River. I don't know if anybody remembers this.
Don't know that.
It was right on the heels of the Paranormal Activity Surgents, done by the same guy. Oren Peli was producer on it.
Okay.
And it was shot very similar too. It was about a crew that went down a river, I think it was the Amazon River, and strange, weird things happened on each episode.
Oh, I think I kind of remember that.
And
yeah.
it started off strong, had great potential, and it just bombed.
Bombed.
So, yeah. I feel like it's worth mentioning, though. Yeah, it's weird to see. Like, I get more of the Netflix type series where you can actually do frightening, terrifying horror things.
Yeah.
Versus like The River was I think it was either an NBC or CBS release. It's like, how far can you actually go calling yourself a horror TV show when you're on prime time network television?
Right.
But the stuff they can get away with now too. I mean,
More so now than they could have. I think this came out 2005, 6 maybe.
Yeah, I got you.
Something in there. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that was at a time when somebody from the network would have been like, okay, so this part where you have his legs cut off and he drags himself to the side of the boat and into the water where he drowns and is eaten by fish. We can't do that.
We're just going to talk about it.
We can talk about it.
Right.
We can talk about what happened to him, but we can't actually see that part where the piranha actually eats the tongue out of his mouth. No, we can't. We can't show
exactly.
that.
Like, I think
that's not something
the worst that they got was showing like the things that are chasing them, not actually showing them, but like, oh my God, something's coming. We got to move quickly. And they did a one part where it's like a whole bunch of dolls hanging from a tree, and
wow,
something that was about as creepy as I think they got.
If you had a pair of, if only I had some scissors, we could cut these dolls down, and the curse would be lifted. But nobody has any scissors. My God, what I wouldn't do for something sharp right now.
Maddie, you got anything else?
The only other one I had on this list was Dark Shadows.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is that from the 70s?
60s.
60s.
Okay.
Daytime soap opera.
Oh, good for you, man.
Really?
Jeez.
Yes. Vampire soap opera.
Vampires, werewolves, all sorts of different things.
Yeah,
and it was a soap opera.
That is wild.
Yeah.
It's so it's so 60s soap opera, but it's
and it
really
lasted
fun.
several years. Like, it was crazy how long that show lasted.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's my mom watched it when she was younger, and so she had a couple on tape or something. And I think now you can watch a good amount of them on, I think, either, I can't remember if it's Netflix or Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And there's a new documentary coming out about it.
Yeah. No, it's really entertaining. I mean, it's so cheesy, but it's like
it's a soap opera.
It's so fun.
You know?
Yeah, it's really fun.
I love that they did that they took that chance for a daytime audience and that there was an audience for it. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
That is just so fun.
Yeah,
Cool.
I love it.
Cool. Moore, you got anything else? You got another one?
My favorite color is blue.
Cool. Awesome. The only other one that I have real quick, and I'll wrap this up, on Hulu, they had a show called The Strain. And I'm a Guillermo del Toro fan, and it's straight out of Blade 2. It really is, and because Del Toro did Blade 2 also. But the vampires are straight out of Blade 2. I have not gotten super far into it. What I've seen my Doug, Patrick shaking his head like it turns into dog shit. So maybe I won't finish that
Now
one.
he's shaking his head yes.
But what I did see of The Strain, I have liked. I'm still stuck in season 1. Because my attention span is that long, and I moved on to something else, and I kind of flip-flop back and forth. I might revisit it, but again, Patrick shaking his head makes me go, maybe I won't.
No, you go right ahead and watch it,
all right,
because you and I don't agree on everything.
That's 100% true.
The book that is based on is really good, except for the second book isn't. The first book was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then I got into the second book, and I was like, when I was reading the second book, that's when they said, oh, this is coming out. And I was like, no, if you can't hold it together for 2 books, I don't really want to watch it.
And that's how I felt about the first season, that the first half was good, the second half was not.
Cool. Well, we watched the feature. It's Patrick's feature tonight. It is a movie called You Might Be the Killer, and Patrick's going to give us the deets on that.
You Might Be the Killer, 2018. You can rent it on Amazon Prime and Shudder, running an hour 38. A camp counselor suffering from blackouts finds himself surrounded by murder victims. He turns to his horror movie enthusiast friend for advice and to contend with the idea that he may be the killer. IMDb rating 6.1. Metascore not applicable. Rotten Tomatoes score 62% and Rotten Tomatoes audience score 53%.
Nice. So, because I'm such a fan of destroying things and then building them back up, we're going to start with Maddie. She didn't quite get through half the movie, but I still want to know what she thinks. So, Maddie, take it away.
As I said, I have a 45-minute rule. If I hate the movie after 45 minutes, off it goes. I really, really struggled with this movie, which I was really disappointed with because I wanted to like this because I really like. There's a lot of parts that I did like. I liked the concept of it. I really liked what they were going for, and I liked those kind of cheesy like titles in it. That being said, this is probably the worst acting I've ever seen in my life. It's probably, I had to watch when I worked at Walgreens some training videos. And if I was going to put those two movies up against each other, I'd give the Academy Award to the Walgreens training videos.
Holy wow.
Yeah, I have never seen acting this bad put out in this format. And it was a combination of the acting was bad and the dialogue was really bad. And it was kind of excruciating to watch, and I could not do it. I mean, I know they were really trying to go for that kind of Cabin in the Woods theme. Wasn't that guy from Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah, Fran Hans is a stoner in Cabin in the Woods.
Okay, well, he should keep to that role or just keep smoking a pipe. I don't care what he needs to do, but yeah, it was really painful to watch their acting. They didn't mesh together well, and I just was like, I can't. I fucking can't. Like 15 minutes into it, and I was like, Jesus Christ. I got up and started my laundry, and then I sat down for a couple more minutes and was like, I can't make it to that 45.
All right.
Yeah, so
cool.
as I said, I really was sad because I did want to like this, but the acting was, I would be embarrassed if I put that out there, and I'm really shocked that a director watched this and said, oh yeah, you guys are doing a good job. Yeah, cut.
Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, this is fine. No, I would be like, get your fucking ass back there. We are filming all night. I will stab you myself to get the damn performance that I need. This is why I said I didn't want to direct. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
She might be the killer.
She might be the killer by the end of the...
Yeah, no. So as I said, really sad, but the performances were, as I said, kind of like rubbing sand in my eyes.
Wow.
So with the campy feel though, which is, you said you like the camp feel to it, doesn't like the over the top acting kind of come with that campy vibe?
But that's the thing, in those campy 80s movies, they were trying. I didn't get the sense that these guys were trying, and it wasn't over the top, it was bland. Like, I don't care about that little over the top in a horror movie, but like, even this jackass is like screaming. I was like, really? Like, did you drop a carton of milk? Because like, that's the reaction I'd expect if you like dropped something in your fucking kitchen. Like, shit. Like, no, it was, as I said, it wasn't over the top, and it didn't have that campy feel. It was just sad. It was Walgreens training videos.
All right. Cool. Greg, follow that.
So I had a little bit better experience with it. Not much, because I did fall asleep a couple times. But
fucking kidding me?
Wow.
All right, cool.
So
we tried.
My takeaway from this, having not seen the film, is that the first 20 minutes of this are gripping.
Yeah.
Like, you are pulled in, and wow, if you even blink, you miss a lot. Wow. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yes, if you do blink, you do miss a lot. One of the things that I had issues with was I felt like the story jumped quite a lot back and forth, and that made it kind of tough to kind of keep track of. So, like you were saying, the titles that they would flash, like they'd say, Dead Counselors 6, Dead Counselors 2. It's like, okay, so 2 people are now back alive. Weird, okay?
What?
Yeah.
It tells the story kind of semi-backwards a little bit. You got to kind of get to that 45-minute mark before it spins back around and starts to tell the story forward.
Right. So you're saying it's everyone else's fault they don't like the movie?
No.
I've never said to Maddie because she'll fucking cut somebody. Yeah. And she makes the wine and we drink that. So.
And the reason it does jump around is because the main character, he's trying to remember what's going on, but he forgets, and then things have to backtrack and then overlap and everything else because it's not necessarily amnesia that he has.
No,
but it kind of is.
He's fucking cursed.
Right.
There you go.
It's like a haunted slasher version of The Mask.
That's a good description.
Yeah, wow,
that's a good way to describe it, I think.
And that mask looked exactly like the mask.
Very similar, yeah.
The mask. But yeah. Keep going, Greg.
So what I did like about this was the camp and the spoof of the slasher genre did make for a nice change of pace. They did play a lot on the stereotypes, which I thought was kind of funny. I did like the inclusion of Allison Hannigan as the horror best friend. She made a nice little cameo appearance. Not a cameo, but a guest appearance.
She was a lead. I caught her as a lead in that movie.
We'd call her a lead. That's fine.
I thought she was.
I'm good with that. So she was a nice presence in the movie. And then I also liked the nice little bit piece from Keith David, one of my favorite voice actors of all time.
I don't know who that was. I don't know who that is. So
he was the sheriff at the end.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
on the voicemail.
On the
okay,
voice.
gotcha.
Kind of going back to the storyline being difficult to follow, along the same lines was, I felt like there was a lot of characters in here just for the simple fact that it was a kill count. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I would agree with that.
That's
Yeah.
all that those characters were for. So what was the purpose of like giving them a personality, or actually like really naming them at the beginning? Because you get an introduction to all the camp counselors. And then after you're done with that, it's like, okay, I'm not going to remember like any of you. And then they kill him off. It's like, okay, why did you give him a name or intro him like that? I don't know. It was kind of a weird little piece that they had put in there that I wasn't really crazy about, but otherwise it was stupidly entertaining.
Yeah. Cool. Patrick?
I enjoyed this movie. And
Up top. Yeah.
And you and I actually had talked about it before, because I think you saw it, recommended it.
Yep.
I saw it, and I really enjoyed it. And I think it really embraced that 1980s campiness. To Maddie's credit, they could have gone further. I completely agree with that. I think they could have gone a little bit more over the top. But overall, I think they really embraced that 1980s cheesy feel for doing a spoof of 1980s horror slasher movie. With that said, I believe Allison Hannigan was just looking for a paycheck in this movie.
Okay.
Because did you really need her for this movie in order for it to sell? Could it have been somebody else and it was just as effective?
It could have been really anybody else.
Yeah.
So I think their budget went to the gore and
her to sell the movie itself.
Yeah.
I do like the jumping back and forth in this movie because it did keep you off guard on several places, especially with the character of Allison.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which one was she?
She was the one he was in
I'm
love
kidding.
with. Oh, okay. So I enjoyed how that kind of kept you off guard just a little bit. And I did enjoy the performance of the lead actor as he was discovering what was going on.
Yeah.
Part of me does feel that they revealed too soon.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Right. I think they could have had more fun with that.
Had they revealed what was going on before you shut it off? Okay.
Yeah, and I agree too. They could have pushed it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could have pushed it probably another like 20, 30 minutes.
I would have liked to have been kept guessing as time went on, and maybe a big reveal at the end.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know if that would have broke the nuance of the film.
Cool. I don't know. I watched this movie a while back. It's super campy. It's super fun. Can't watch this movie and go, this is like, and take it seriously at all. You just can't. If you walk into that movie with just this is just all about fun and all about really kind of cool kind of kills that go on in the movie. There's a ton of really cool kills in this movie. My daughter sat there. I watched with her. There's a moment in the movie where somebody gets their head just completely split in half.
Yep.
And she was like, watching her reaction was a ton of fun. I shouldn't tell people that I watched these shit with my 10-year-old daughter, but
I was just gonna say,
And here
surprise!
comes CPS.
do you gauge the quality of the kill based on her, like how badly she panics and has nightmares later?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty awesome.
12 o'clock. Daddy! Yes!
So I thought also had this really cool like grindhouse look to it.
Oh, yeah.
With this grindhousey like filter on it that I thought was really cool. I felt it lived in a super original world. I hadn't really seen a camp slasher film kind of go this way. And it really didn't have a final girl. It didn't. They talk about, Maddie, they talk about one of the girls. You may have seen her in the first 25 minutes. I'm not sure. That she, they say that she's the final girl, but at the end of the movie, there's really no final girl. And that's what we talked about kind of on the Women in Horror conversation, that it's the closest movie I've seen with a final guy. If anything. The way that movie ends, it's kind of like there's like a role reversal that goes on, and there's a final guy, I think. I mean, I've never seen that before. So this movie also fell into my top 10 of 2018. I think it was like around number 6. So I will defend that. Overall, I had a super good time with You Might Be the Killer. Again, it's on Shudder. I would tell everybody just that if you're looking for some campy fun, it's kind of like if you're a fan of Cabin in the Woods, like you're a fan of those movies, and you're
Watch Cabin in the Woods.
If you're good walking into a movie without trying to take anything too seriously, I didn't think the acting was that fucking bad. Granted, I'm not an actor, but I didn't think it was that terrible.
I mean, yes, if you're going to compare it to Cabin in the Woods, Cabin in the Woods is a much better movie. This is still a fun, good movie, in my opinion.
If you compare it to Short Circuit, is it the better movie?
I did not like Short Circuit, so I'm going to say yes, it's a better movie than Short Circuit.
Okay, then
Cabin in the
count
Woods.
me in.
Cabin in the Woods, though, tosses at the end of that movie. It tosses everything. And the kitchen sink. Oh, it's just like the writers were like, "Fuck it, here we go," and they tossed everything in there.
I mean, to be fair, it did take me a couple watches to like Cabin in the Woods. So maybe if I watch this movie again and I had like 8 bottles of tequila, I could probably get my way through it.
Well, and horror comedy is not your favorite subgenre in any way, shape, or form.
It's not. This movie, if you want like a more serious version of this movie, though, I really recommend a movie called Shrooms.
I've seen Shrooms.
It's so good.
I thought we were just going to recommend doing Shrooms.
I mean, maybe that would improve this one. If you got a connection, hit me up, guys. But Shrooms is kind of the same way. It's kind of campy. You don't know who the killer is. I mean, I like campy. As I said, my big thing in this was the acting, and I normally don't nitpick it, but like to me, this I was just like, wow, I have seen lines delivered better in porn. Like, come on, kids.
This is the second time you've compared a movie to porn, by the way. So
what was the other one?
I don't know. We were talking about what about repeat? We were talking about bestiality at some point, and porn got brought up as well. So this is the second time porn's been brought up on this podcast.
Are we going to pretend none of us watch it? Like, are we really going to pretend we don't?
What's porn?
This might be turning into the porncast next week. Tune in to the porncast.
To the Midnight Porncast.
I mean, I do have quite a few slots to fill in the...
Wait a minute, what?
Oh, no. I set myself up.
Yes, you did.
But if we go back, look at the writer. Look who the writer was on Cabin in the Woods, too. Fuck, I just forgot.
Who was the writer, Josh?
Well, now I'm going to look it up again because I fucking forgot.
You know, that one writer that...
Joss Whedon.
Josh Whedon.
Wrote Cabin in the Woods. So there was not that writer on You Might Be the Killer.
Right.
So,
and there's a lot of Josh Whedon connections in this movie as well, because Allison Hannigan has worked with him before.
in
Buffy the Vampire
Slayer.
Yeah. And Fran obviously was in
Cabin
in the Woods.
So anyway, we have scores to give.
First of all, just one little bit of trivia.
Yeah, go ahead. Cool.
This movie was actually created because of a line or a string of tweets.
Okay.
That someone had, that there was like, someone said, okay, I'm here, blah, 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 blah. And I think maybe I murdered someone. And then it was all these responses coming back and forth. And he was having this conversation on a Twitter feed. And that's how this movie came about, was just based on that.
That's kind of interesting.
So it's kind of like that joke where you like text a random number and you're like, okay, I did it. Now how do I hide the body?
It's something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because one of the reviews, it said probably better than any movie adapted from a string of tweets ever should be.
I suppose there's worse movies that have been created from
I'm sure there has
worse
been.
ways.
Yeah.
Tusk.
Fuck you. Jesus Christ. That was ridiculous. That was based on a podcast.
Josh, I love you.
No.
Okay. Did you
Tired
guys
of this fucking Tusk torture.
Did you guys notice when on the message thread when I set up the poll where it said, is Tusk a good movie? Yes or no? And the only option was no.
I did not see that.
I saw it. Fuck you. Again.
I still need to watch this movie because...
Oh, it's on the list. You'll be watching
on the list.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Greg added it.
I added it.
We love shitting on it just because...
I think you'll love it,
because
Maddie.
Josh,
it's so fucked up. It
really is.
One of my teachers from effects school did some of the makeup in there.
Oh, cool.
So I keep meaning to
You should.
check
It's
it out.
it's really good. It's coming up here in a few weeks. We're watching Tusk. So I can't wait. I don't even have to watch it. I know the movie.
You know it by heart, I'm sure.
So.
Can you quote some lines?
Fuck, you gonna put me on the spot like
Yeah,
that?
just one. Any line at random.
Fuck. That might be a line right there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Wallace.
One of the best things about it is Kevin Smith spent the majority of the budget just to get the song Tusk for the credits.
That is 100% true. Yeah, he spent almost all his budget to get that song.
That kind of creative commitment.
For
Yes.
for that movie. Yeah,
Love that guy.
No.
I love the fact that the movie was based on. Fuck, we're gonna talk about this when we talk about
When we're
Tusk.
talking
but-
about Tusk.
Well,
Here's a preview. Here's a
yeah,
preview.
that it was
Preview,
based on a podcast, that they went on that they got this story from England that a guy put out. It's kind of like a Craigslist in England, an ad for a room in his flat or whatever. And it's like, I will give you the room for free, and all you have to do is for 1 hour a day, dress in this walrus costume that I've been constructing. And while you're in that walrus costume, you must be the walrus. So you have to sound like a walrus. You can't talk. You have to answer in walrus noises, and he'll throw fish at you for an hour while he's eating dinner. And that's how you pay for your room. And it was this fake ad, but they talked about it at length on Spodcast, and it turned into this whole big. You watched the creation of this movie on that podcast as they kind of talked about all the different beats and everything. I loved that it came from that.
The concept of it is really cool. I've actually listened to that podcast based on your recommendations, and listening to them create this movie off of nothing or this ad is just absolutely fantastic. And then there's Tusk.
Yeah, Smodcast. Fuck you. It's a Smodcast. It's episode just called "The Walrus and the Carpenter." You can find it. I think it's fantastic, and I think the movie is easily in my top 10 of favorites of all time. I love it. So fuck everybody else.
Right, but we were talking about You Might Be the Killer.
Yeah, we should do that.
So we rate the movie using the fear factor, the gore score, and then our overall score. So who wants to jump in first?
Yeah, what are we talking about? Fear Factor?
Fear factor.
2. 1 or 2. It's
Yes,
small.
super low.
Yeah.
Super low.
It's campy. It's fun.
1 or 2.
It's
I
comedy.
agree.
I think I'd give it probably a 2.
Are you going to score, Maddie? Or are you going to jump in?
No.
You say
If
fuck
I
it?
don't watch the whole movie, I'm not
She
gonna.
doesn't score.
Fair. Cool.
So then we have the gore factor.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, I'd give it about a 5 or a 6. There was some really good kills in there.
Yeah,
I
there
agree
were.
that the splitting
Yeah.
the head in half, and there was a full-on decapitation, which was pretty good.
That's great. Yeah.
Plenty of blood.
There's some good stuff, yeah.
Yeah, about 5, 6.
Cool. Greg?
I actually give it a 7. I felt like the best parts of this movie were the creativity, of the kills, and there was plenty of blood, plenty of gore. So I think it's a 7.
Cool.
And then there's the overall score. Would you recommend it to a friend?
Fuck yeah, I would. 7, 8. 7, 8 is where I'm gonna live.
I'm going to put mine about 6, 7 right in there, just because I've seen better horror comedy, but this is still on the upper list for me.
Cool. Greg?
I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go with a 5. It's stupidly entertaining. I might recommend it.
Cool. Maddie, are you gonna tell all your friends?
Oh yeah, all of them. I'm gonna be like, yeah, run out and watch this. I will attempt to watch this again at some point after I've been drinking, but it's on the list right after finishing Hereditary, so it's not.
You could definitely turn You Might Be the Killer into a drinking game.
Oh, yeah.
There's a drinking game there. You could probably figure it out.
Like anytime they display a number,
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
how many drinks.
Yeah.
Oh God, you would die.
Well,
like
man.
right off the bat, you would die.
How about every time they act while I take a drink, and I'd be sober
You'd
the
be
entire
sober.
time.
Nice.
Plugs. Let's do them. Maddie.
Well, wait, I do have a question. Moyer,
fuck
based on what you heard tonight, would you be interested in watching that movie?
I'm actually kind of compelled. Like, I would sit down and watch this. Yeah, I'm reasonably excited. In part because Maddie says the acting is really bad, and sometimes that's amusing and sad at the same time. And the blood and gore sounds pretty exciting. And I'm also kind of drawn to the Pulp Fiction-y disjointed timeline stuff. So that sounds really cool. That's not something I've seen in a horror film, and I think if it's done well and it's funny, then it should be a good ride. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Plugs.
Greg?
Maddie, plug.
I don't have anything.
Oh, we cut
I
that
thought you
plug?
said you had some slots to fill.
Go to hell.
Okay, Greg.
Wow, this just took an awkward turn.
Greg, what kind of plug do you got?
I am Greg the Movie Guy, and I am positively writing movie reviews over at gregthemovieguy.com.
Is that it for real?
Wow.
All right.
That was
that was
puts some
short.
pressure-
Short, sweet, and
Shit.
God, and you were complaining how long it took me to do my plug last week. Now it's the same thing over and over, and you said it just takes so long.
My plug will start back up about April, May when we start talking about Prairie Lights again. So it's a little bit of ways away. But
do you want me to say mine again so I can fill up more time?
That's right. We went for a long time tonight. Patrick.
Hey, if you're a fan of the Midnight Frightcast, and we know that you are, help us out. Make sure that you head on over to iTunes or whatever platform you're listening to us on, and make sure that you rate and review us. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, and many, many more. You can also help us out with some of the minor bills around the Frightcast by heading on over to patreon.com/midnightfrightcast. Make sure you check us out online. You can find us on Twitter @mfrightcast, and you can follow us and join in the conversation in our Facebook group, Midnight Frightcast. You can also find us on Instagram, Midnight Frightcast. So share, and share some more, and post on your walls, and tell all your friends and family. And finally, make sure that... Fuck you, Josh. And make sure you check out our films at midnightfrightfilms.com.
Moyer, you got a plug that's less than that one?
I've got a pretty simple one. Awesome. If you enjoy getting shitty advice and bad product reviews about things that guys need, come on over to Here to Tell You Something, where Colby Coash, fellow horror actor extraordinaire, and myself rate some of the best yard care products we can steal from True Value on Holdridge. That's what we basically do. We basically do yard work. And we do it badly. Yeah. So watch that. It's entertaining.
What was that again?
It is Here to Tell You Something. And we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube, and we're on the Twitters. And you can go over to the Google, and you can find us on all those platforms. Here to Tell You Something.
Cool. Awesome. Check all those things out. Going to wrap it up here for myself and Patrick and Greg and Maddie and Moyer.
Hi.
Thanks for hanging out with us for episode 51. We will see you at 52.